We're back. Episode 2 of Unfiltered Wellness. I'm Gabriel Jacobo. I got my man, Austin Maine. What's going on, brother?
Man, I am stoked to be here because I know what we're talking about today. So, and it's perfect because we're coming from weeks and weeks, like weeks on end, like months of now, like looking at these and how they really balance out. So, I don't know. What do we got going today?
Yeah,
What do we
yeah.
got going on?
I was like, is he going to say it? So today we're going to be talking about some recovery versus grind mentality. And that's such a broad subject. And I think a lot of times people misconstrue, oh, you should just beat yourself in the dirt over and over, build that mental resiliency, or there's the people on the other side. Yeah, take a break, man. If your legs hurt or if you're just tired, take a break. We like, there's so much on that spectrum. So let's talk about it. Recovery and grind. What immediately comes to mind given what we've had going on this past week? So let's start with that. This past week, Austin, what were you doing? What was it like? Tell me everything A to Z.
We'll do okay, recovery this week. So everything in life is a stress. Like it can be a eustress or a distress. Like it can be good stuff, but it can also be bad stuff. They're both stress. Well, I had really heightened good stuff with we did an international athlete and coach camp, CrossFitters. It was freaking phenomenal. I was really excited for the whole thing, but I'm really way up there, but I'm also staying fight or flight all day because we have so many things that we're trying to get done. And like, I wanted it to get done well. In a sense, I went so excited and was trying to go so hard that I ended up sick.
Yep.
My whoop was down to a 40 HRV. I couldn't breathe. It was like, it literally felt like I got ran over by a truck. I was supposed to run a marathon that was on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was supposed to run a marathon 3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
And so Friday, I didn't do anything. I stayed away from camp. I just stayed at home. I took like 3 hour nap in the middle of the day, trying to figure out how to recover. Sauna that morning. Again that night with some cold therapy, some breath work. Like was trying to do all the modalities to get myself like back up in the clear.
Yep.
Felt a little bit better come Friday. Actually felt a little bit better come Saturday. Went up to see the back half of the camp that day, or last day of it,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't quite 100%, but I could feel like I was like, man, I'm like 65, 70%. I'm close. And so I just kept thinking, man, if I can get just a little bit more, Sunday morning rolls around and I'm going to be able to go run this marathon I've been wanting to do. Because I want to run a sub 4. It's not to like go run a marathon. I've done that. Like, that's not the goal. Like, I
Right.
want to go run a sub 4. And so wake up Sunday, just not there. Pull the plug. Try to get recovered still by Monday, still sitting at just like 75, 80%. Like I can feel it. All my markers look at it. I'm like, man, we've got to get all the way back if I want to go run this coming week. All we had to do is fast, 36-hour fast later, and things are reset and it's good to go again. It
Yeah, you're
just,
back up.
yeah, it just takes a minute. Like we were all the way down to 40s, and now we're back up to 160s on HRV. I still trained yesterday as well, and I trained that morning and I trained that afternoon. It was a short training session, but I still did stuff just to mobilize glycogen and actually get it all.
All right. And we're back. We had some technical difficulties, but what you were talking about, Austin, is on the tail end of that is basically having an amazing international athlete and coach camp all week. You were sick, recovering, and you wanted to run a marathon on Sunday, but it just wasn't quite in the cards, right? To get it done by Sunday. Yeah, but that,
Which it's still great though. You can see the things that, I mean, it was working. Like things were getting better, better, better. We just needed it faster. So I realized after running a fast yesterday, like a 36-hour, everything punched all the way back up. I'm like, man, what if I would have done that on? That's scary though. Like if you do that Saturday, you don't have time to refill glycogen. I don't think it'd be possible. Maybe it's a Friday thing. I don't know.
yeah,
It makes me wonder. Should I have pulled it there, or was your stress still too high that would have tanked you worse? I don't know. But
yeah.
if that situation arises again, I know if that's my deadline window that I have to work with for this goal that's been training for, like hit it here and see. Like, this way didn't do it. So now you can try the other way. Part of knowing
Yeah.
what works is what doesn't work as well.
That's so true. And the next time that it happens, you 100% have an idea about how you're going to attack it. Like you're your own guinea pig in
Yeah.
this sense. So that's really good. Now with that being said, and recovering and learning some of those things, for me personally, this week it's been really weird the past 2 weeks. My HRV has baseline been down. My resting heart rate has baseline been up, and there's been ebbs and flows, good days, bad days, post fast, and like, but it's been trending down. Now I don't really know why. Training stresses don't feel too crazy. My body feels pretty good. I'm sleeping okay, better than average. Life stresses don't feel that outstanding. Maybe it's just because Lauren's gone. I don't know. That could be
That's
it.
honestly the biggest variable. Yeah. She
Yeah.
probably anchors your nervous system, to be honest. Like, she's so, like, with herself just, like, good with, that
hmm
reverberates and you feel that as well. I really think that's what it is.
I think so too. I think it's and I know Lauren, you're gonna listen to this or watch this and you're gonna be like, "Yep, it is me. You need me." And I'll be like, "Yes, I agree. That's why we're getting married."
It's
But
like, no, like, from just a scientific standpoint, like, looking at it just by numbers and getting emotions out of the way, like, I'm like, yeah, like, she
literally
helps.
everything since she left, it's been bad, right? Everything's down.
It's like, what the we, like, adjusted training sessions and this, that, and the other, like, to accommodate for it, because it's not, again, recovery versus grind. Do I need to, like,
hmm
"Oh, I gotta go bear down and push through this?" It's like, well, I think the real goal, it's not ever to, like, to smoke yourself, and it's not to not like, to go too easy. The goal is
hmm
optimal, never minimal, never maximal, always optimal. This is stuff like strength training world, Louis, Westside Barbell. That principle comes from there. And I think the
Yeah.
application of that is that optimal also changes based on the athlete, the individual, and where they're at in that season of life. Different variables, work stressors, life stressors, like that changes things. We know that we have to do X amount to make positive increments, but we also know that you only have to do this much to maintain a lot, most of your qualities. Like,
Yes.
most of the time, we're training right here and trying to go right under red line on every threshold we can. We just know that there's going to be times where that red line might be more here rather than here based on
Yep.
life stressors. So then we adjust and stay right with the red line. At the same time, though, we're working on, as we're applying the tools, it gets easier for those stressors to modulate themselves too. Like, you just become a better stress manager over time too, doing the little things like going for the walk, start the day, having the same routine at night. Like, it's such basics. When we're kids, we just hear
Yes.
it's like, oh, it's all the foundations, it's the basics. Like, every single kid knows, oh, I need to have a strong core because their parent and every single coach tells them that. Like,
Yep.
it's just basics. Whoever does the basics the best is the one who continues to make progress. Part of making progress, though, requires an individual to take on and handle more stress.
Yeah.
Training
And
should be progressively more stressful so that when those life situations do happen, I mean, think about it. It's not like you tanked. You still you still been training. Like,
yeah.
you didn't
Yeah.
tank the few point deviations and this, that, and the other, but it's nothing where we're having to go, man, we got to pull this back. Imagine if we took, whenever your first 3 weeks of training, imagine if we took him right now, threw him into the situation that
Oh,
has
it'd be
been
over.
conspired, and imagine we could track the markers. I think it'd be a complete different scenario. You push yourself extremely hard. You grind, as it would be put, but you still can recover on the backsides.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing is it's taken a year, right? We're at about a year and some change, a couple days, a couple weeks since we've started working together on
Wow.
you coaching me. I think that's a big part of it and understanding that between training and recovering is that it's like if you're not watching, he put a line. It seems like it's linear. We're training, we're trying to train better, but there's ebbs and flows. But as long as you're trending upwards, that is the most important part. That's understanding when to train, when to take a day, when to like for example, today I have 800-meter intervals. I've only got three of them, with 2 minutes rest in between. Now, the way my body feels right now, do I have 100% today? I don't, but I've got about 85, 90, I think today, depending on how well I warm up and how the body responds to getting it, a nice sweat going, and I'll have a good idea. But something that you have to intuitively know, right? Like I can't go out there and say, oh, I'm gonna get after, it, and if I don't hit this certain mark, like it's a failure of a session. No, I ran a half marathon on Sunday. I did two zone 2 workouts yesterday. I've already done 40 minutes of work this morning. So
And that's what's crazy is that's a deload. Like,
I
that's
know.
a freaking deload. Like, that's still double what your first week of work, it's more than double
Yep.
your first week a year ago. Like, that's insane to me, like, to think about it. Because from my lens, like, I'm looking at that as an individual has to be able to take on more stress to take on more stress.
Yep.
Like, you've created a base that allows you to take on stress. You've focused on conditioning intervals. You focused on learning how to run at a slow pace. Like you did the boring things that actually build a base. People try to
Mhm.
skip that process, I think, and that's what hurts them in the long run. Now, could we have made body composition changes faster in 3 months, the first 3 months than we did? Absolutely. Definitely could have starved and got there really quickly. But we learn as little kids the tortoise and the hare. Yet somehow
Yep.
as we grow up, we forget about that. And we're like, oh, I'm like, I gotta have it now. It's like, oh, what if we just build a strong base and we learn how to like perform and recover? You've changed.
Yeah.
How much weight have you lost in total now?
So I think this morning I weighed in at like 191 pounds. And when I first started with you, I think I was as high as 207, 208, something like that.
And you're
So,
stronger and you recover better and you
yep. I feel better and I look better.
plenty
Yeah.
eat freaking plenty of food. It's like I think we've got you sitting right at like the 14, 15 calorie per pound mark because we'd pulled training stressors back, really just trying to make sure your stomach's using everything. It's like even today, like one of the thoughts I had as I'm hearing you and just like in the moment hits me, it's you could take in like go by Whole Foods or Sprouts and get like a coconut water, not a coconut water, like a watermelon juice. Should have about
Hmm.
80 grams of carbs or so. Use that pre, during, and post on your run today. It's a solid
Hmm.
source of electrolytes and simple sugars that'll allow your nervous system to stay recovered and fresh enough because we do have your food pulled back still a hair. That's like an
Yep.
easy little thing you could do on a day like today because it's intervals. Like
Yeah.
it's a big session. Even though it's only this much running volume than you're accustomed to on that day, well, it's because they're still peaking for a 5K this weekend as well.
Yep.
That's like the last push.
There's still
Yeah.
intention behind what we're doing today. It's like you say, because I'm peaking for a Saturday PR in a 5K. That is the goal, is sub 19 for Saturday. And that's 6 days after my first half marathon, the longest I've ever ran in one sitting.
So you're going to run the longest you've ran and the fastest you've ran back to back,
Yeah.
essentially. Toot toot. There we go.
Exactly, exactly. So you brought something up there, and I want to kind of hit on that a little bit. Let's talk about the where people want to get to, right? They're starting here at a base level, and they want to get up to here. But it's like you said, they want it fast. Could we have starved me personally when you started working with me, and I could have got these body composition goals? Probably would have hated my life. Yes, built
You'd have
the
just been burnt out. You never would have wanted to continue progressing in your sport. Your motivation levels down. Like it's
Yep.
bodybuilding. It's not body losing. And I think people still forget that. I don't just mean that like physique basis, the sport bodybuilding. I mean like physical building. Like it's a building process. You're not ever getting rid of things. You're adding. We were adding food. We were adding training. We were adding quality of life. We weren't stripping or depriving of anything.
Right. Exactly. It was, and that's what I wanted to talk about is a lot of people like they cut calories or they think carbs are the problem. And don't get me wrong, there's different levers you have to pull at certain times to understand how you get to that point. But it all starts with just making sure that the lifestyle that you are giving yourself, that you are living, is something that you want to live, right? It's something like you don't want to starve all day. You want to eat good foods. You want to have a cheat meal once or twice a week. I was actually looking at my check-in sheet where you put it in all my meals. The first couple of weeks where we did our baseline meal, you were
Mhm.
actually giving me up to three cheat meals per week. Meals, that's it. So, and it was dinner. It was high quality, try to whatever you want meals. Now, did I use the full three? I did not. But having that option to do that as you're getting started, and then, okay, all of a sudden it's all right, instead of three, we've got two. Okay, now that you've got two, let's make sure that those two are actually high quality meals. It could be double rice fajitas, it could be sushi, sourdough pizza with anchovies, right?
Yeah.
You start to graduate and do different things, but that is a part of that stressor. It's a part of, like you said, not being burnt out and incrementally getting better as an athlete and as a human so that you can make this a lifestyle, not just some fad that you want to live for a little while.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. A meal plan, a nutrition strategy, it is a stress. Just like everything else, if you push the stress too high too fast, it burns us out. It's got to be tapered and tailored over time. The trick is finding it where it can be done, because that's like the key number one thing is that compliance is the science. The ability to do it is what will create the changes that then allow the individual to want to keep taking momentum and taking positive changes and so forth. It's up
Yep.
to the individual. Like there can be good communication and this, that, and the other. That helps those two work together between an athlete coach standpoint to come up with what is that for that person. Because once you have baseline, Now you can go build stuff. I just see, is like if somebody can get 3 days on whatever their plan is, just 3 days. If you can go 3 days without a compromise on whatever that thing is, somehow it becomes manageable.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and then I love you brought up the free meal portion of that too, because over time as well, I think people naturally start to want to. You don't really want to take as much on the cheat meals and stuff. Like you feel good and like stuff's going well, and you notice when you do that, you don't like it's not helping. You're like, instead of just taking it away, like let people be connected enough to where they can feel the difference in the food. It's what we did this week with
Yes.
the camp with like controlling the food for the whole week for the girls. It was they get to the end of the camp and it's like we're looking at in body scans and uh freaking Mel had gone like lost 4 pounds, gained almost 2 pounds of lean mass, and dropped 4% body fat in a week. Like, what the heck is this? She
So
just
for
wasn't
people who
she took out any of her processed food. She only ate whole foods for that week.
So for people, just to kind of explain the background on that, when the girls started the camp, they did an in-body scan where they looked at their lean muscle tissue or lean muscle mass, their body weight, the fat, and all of these different variables to start the camp. Now, this is with them taking in all the foods that they want to take in. Maybe they do well, maybe they don't. Maybe they're kind of disciplined on some things, maybe they're not. But they did that to start. Austin and the crew fed them from A to Z throughout the camp. And at the end of the camp, they did another in-body scan. That's what he's talking about is when you controlled some of these variables, just for a week, like you said, right? A week, she lost 3 to 4% body fat.
That's crazy. And that was in the
Yep.
middle of competing a 2-day competition where there was 6 total events. That was 3 days of triple session a day training plus 1 recovery day where we went on a 6-mile hike. There was so much going on, and that still happened. The biggest thing is people are just saying they didn't feel tired in the, like, middle of the day, like, they had energy. Like,
Yep.
I didn't know I mean, I remember telling Matt, like, so Matt put all the menu together. Matt freaking that I don't know how he did it all this week. It was crazy to watch. I was just helping him throughout the process. He I told him at the end of the camp, I was just like, I knew this stuff worked, but I guess I didn't really know it really worked that well. I kind of thought maybe it was like a fluke, maybe, or no, like that to me, like really solidified how important it is to just run off a whole food diet.
Yes. Yeah. That's amazing that you were able to see that in person. And it goes both ways. Like we're talking about recovery, we're talking about grind. You can make these things go hand in hand and know when to pull certain levers at certain times. You were sick. You wanted to run a marathon, but you couldn't. So you had to take a step back. You tried all these things to recover, but at the end of the day, it couldn't happen this time, but it might happen next time. For me, all these different levers aren't working. I'm just overall recovery is not the best, but hey, I still know that my body intuitively, I know it's still able to push at the point that I needed it to. So there's ebbs and flows. Like I said, it's this line, but there's ebbs and flows of that line, right? And we
Yeah.
just as long as we're trending up, that's where we want to go. Absolutely.
Oh, that's perfect. The I'll be curious today too to see spiking your because yesterday were like easier sessions on your body, bringing back in a hard session today, the watermelon trick. That was I'd be curious. I'm thinking tomorrow, like looking at Garmin A sleep when you wake up. I wonder if it'll pop things because you're sensitive to food right now, super sensitive.
I wonder. Well, I have coconut water in the fridge. Is that better, or should I go try to track down watermelon?
The watermelon one just has more. You have orange juice too,
Okay.
or oranges?
Out.
Because that you could have
I
done
got
that with coconut water.
the oranges
With coconut water, yeah. Or like orange juice and coconut water and just mixed together.
because I got to drive to Stillwater to go pick up some stuff here in just a little bit as soon as we get
So
off. So
go to
I might
Sprouts
try
and
to see if
Stillwater.
there's a. Yep, exactly.
There you
And
go.
then sip it on the way back.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. So I mean that'll be just hit it through if you run there even. I would just use it during your session. Like it'd be perfect. You'll absorb every bit of it.
Absolutely. So to kind of, I know we've been talking for a little over 20 minutes at this point, and I want to kind of bookend it. And like I said, whenever we started this is going to be we're going to try to be 30 minutes or less. We want it to be more conversational. We want you guys to be able to take what we're talking about and apply it. So with that being said, Austin, for someone who I'm going to give you two scenarios, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with the person who maybe is wanting to get into more fitness or just overall well-being of their life. They don't want to wake up and feel groggy. They don't want to, be tired all the time. They don't want to crash in the middle of the day. What do you do for a couple of easy things to start doing for somebody to start elevating themselves to get to that level?
Absolutely. Number one thing, most of these people are not eating a quality breakfast. So we're going to introduce a quality breakfast. This does not have to be extravagant. This is as simple as like 2 to 3 eggs, a little bit of sourdough, a little bit of avocado, maybe some blueberries. Cool, and go on with your day. That one factor alone, you will feel drastically over the course of even 4 days. Just that one change. Somebody's asked for a second change they can make, and they're like, "Man, I really want to do something quick. I want to see this thing. Like, I want to get to feeling better fast." A lot of times, you can run a 24 to 36 hour fast, and it will have huge reset capacities for all the food that you digest over the coming days. Now, if you do the fast and you just go back to eating normal right after, it won't really take hold. But if you were to fast plus, then go in and just be like, hey, I'm going to eat stuff that, you can only plant, grow, whatever for the next few days that doesn't come out of packages, XYZ. That is such a huge, huge monumental shift that a lot of times starts it's a spark that starts a forest fire.
Yep,
So I'd say
absolutely.
those would be my kind of 1, 2, 3 punches if for a
Perfect.
perfect scenario.
So, and that leads me to you talked about the fast. I know for some people, it's a big mental game. And I think, at the end of the day, we can only tell you that this is only going to help you grow, getting through that mentally to be able to fast for that long. But with that being said, how long and how often would you recommend somebody who has never really done that and until they start seeing these different changes? Is it once a week? Is it once every other week? Do you slowly increase it, in time in between? What would the frequency look like?
So my favorite typically is just going to be once every couple weeks, anywhere in this like 20 to 36 hour mark. So it's like if I'm giving somebody, I'll put that as a window, like 20 to 36 hour fast. I want them to be able to pick. If they get to the end of the day and like, man, I really want to have something here. I know I'm not going to sleep through the night. This, that, the other. Cool. Go ahead and have one of your meals. Like that's fine. If you want to push through it, just know that there is a bigger benefit that comes from holding off an extra 10, 11, 12 hours. I just personally only think 36 should be about once a month. Maybe some other people disagree with me on that, but that's just kind of my opinion on it. It should be about once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks. But I mean, we had a group at one point, college athletes run it for 8 weeks in a row, once a week, 36-hour fast. It was the fastest body composition and performance gains I've ever seen in a group of athletes. I don't know if it was that though, or if it was just the fact that everybody was so excited and having a good time in their training. Like, I don't know which one really did it. I can't say. I just know that
Yeah,
fast can be beneficial. 24 to
but it
36.
was a good variable.
Yeah. If somebody's going to stay more with the shorter duration, like a 20 to 24, I think that can be done weekly and can actually be, I've kind of started incorporating that as well midweek. Kind of having like a
Mhm.
short fast day and then a long fast day. So one might be, 20 hours and the next one might be 20, 24 hours. And I personally really like that.
Hey,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. That was weird. But we'll wrap it up. I got one more question for you and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, that's somebody who wants to get into being just overall better for themselves, right, Austin? So what do you say to somebody who has been lifting for years, been running for years, or maybe they're kind of in a rut and they can't really hit that next gear? What do you recommend for them to hit that next step in recovery or just overall upgrading themselves there?
Man, that's almost when I'm like, pull the lever. Like, that is the 36-hour fast because it's such a huge like belief reset, in my opinion. Like, if
Hmm.
you're, currently training this, that, the other, but you're just like, maybe you were really driven for a goal and now you're not really as much. Like, you're still kind of showing up to the gym, but you're not really like pursuing anything. You're just kind of, you're going through the motions. I kind of think of that as that person, or as, college athlete that is going through that process. Like I know you did and many others have, myself after high school athletics. Like, um, that's the person I'd say they need a 36-hour fast. Like, just straight up. It's like, because
Yeah.
it's such a hard button that it just reminds you of like, oh, wait, like, yeah, I can do hard things. I can do X, Y, and Z. I can do this, this, and this. And then that one spark of belief will lead to the next patterns and ideas and changes that'll occur as well.
Yep. And I could say I will say this, just speaking for me, my personal experience, if I wasn't chasing high rocks goals or endurance goals or anything like that, I would incorporate the 36-hour fast. Now, I'm gonna challenge you, people who are listening to this. If you're like, no, I'm not gonna do a 36-hour fast. I don't need to do that. You're right. You don't need to do anything, but maybe you just want to continue being tired and you want to continue scrolling on TikTok all day. You want,
Man.
like, that's what we're talking about. It's unfiltered wellness, right?
Yeah,
That's what this show is called.
it's
So you got to
true.
be honest with yourself. Like, this, who we're talking to, this person, you're listening to it for a reason. You're listening to it because you want to elevate yourself. You don't want to just hear me and Austin talk because we love the because you just love us. You want to hear us talk because you love them and also because you want to get better. So
Yeah,
if a 36-hour fast deters you, I'm going to challenge you to take a step back and think about why do I feel like this? What do I need to change in my life to make change, to make the things get a little bit better? You said it was simple. You did it for the people who want to get into it. You did it for somebody who is already in it and needs that extra push. Those are two, three simple things that they can do. So I
absolutely.
love it, man. This has been fun today. Quick hitters. We're gonna clean this. We're gonna find new topics, and they all go together. They all go hand in hand. So we're gonna talk about a fast, and we're also gonna talk about how it can tie into training. We're gonna talk about sleep. We're gonna talk about everything because they all come together. They all work together for each other. So, anything else to add, Austin, before we sign off?
I could go all day, but I know I can't today, so I'll leave it
I
there.
know it. That sounds good. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. This is episode 2 of Unfiltered Wellness. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.